Every single day, millions of people around the world wake up to the same morning ritual: toast, eggs, and a tall, cold glass of orange juice. But have you ever wondered how that liquid sunshine ends up in your fridge? Behind that single glass lies an industrial symphony of machines, manpower, and meticulous processes. Welcome to FactoryX, where we are pulling back the curtain on one of the most consumed beverages on Earth. This is how millions of liters of orange juice are made, step by step. The orange orchards, nature's starting line. Let's start where all great orange juice begins, the orange groves. These aren't your backyard trees. We're talking thousands of acres stretching across sun-drenched regions like Florida, Brazil, and parts of Southern California, areas that produce billions of oranges annually. There are two main types of oranges used for juice: Valencia oranges, prized for their sweetness and juice yield; Hamlin oranges, early season varieties often used in blended juices. The typical orange tree takes 3 to 5 years to bear significant fruit, and once mature, it can yield up to 500 oranges per season. Multiply that by thousands of trees, and now you're talking serious volume. The harvest, a race against time. Oranges are generally harvested once they reach full maturity, but before they over-ripen. Timing is everything. Too early, and the sugar levels aren't optimal. Too late, and you risk fermentation and spoilage. While handpicking is still used for premium varieties, most industrial juice operations rely on mechanical harvesters. These massive machines shake the trees using hydraulic arms, while a series of soft paddles and catch plates collect the falling fruit. The goal is to minimize bruising and maintain the integrity of the peel, since damaged oranges can quickly lead to rot. The harvested fruit is immediately loaded into ventilated trucks, which prevents overheating during transport. From the grove to the factory, the journey is often just a few hours long. This is critical. The fresher the orange, the better the juice. Arrival at the processing plant. The clock starts ticking. Once the oranges reach the facility, time is of the essence. Bacteria and mold start developing fast if the fruit sits too long. Processing plants are designed to move thousands of tons of fruit per day, with minimal human handling. Trucks back up to an unloading dock, where the oranges are dumped onto conveyor belts and into large stainless steel receiving bins. From here, they begin a journey through the plant that resembles something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Only this one smells like citrus. But before any juicing begins, the oranges have to be sorted, cleaned, and checked. Let's get into that. Washing and sorting. No rotten oranges allowed. This is where high-tech meets hygiene. Oranges first pass through a high-pressure wash tunnel, where rotating brushes and jets of water remove dirt, pesticides, and debris. Then, they go through optical sorting systems, machines equipped with AI-driven cameras and sensors. These machines check for size, shape, color, blemishes, and mold. Any orange that doesn't meet the standard is automatically ejected from the line via air jets. Spoiled or underdeveloped fruit is diverted to animal feed processing plants or compost facilities, so almost nothing goes to waste. Grading and distribution for juicing. Not all oranges are juiced equally. After sorting, the remaining fruit is graded based on sweetness and acidity, typically measured by something called the Brix level, a scale that determines sugar content in liquids. The oranges are then distributed to different juicing lines depending on their Brix rating. This is key for creating consistent flavor profiles. A bottle of orange juice should taste the same every time you drink it, regardless of the season or region the fruit came from. At this point, the plant may be processing up to 600 oranges per second across multiple lines. It's an astonishing feat of logistics and precision engineering. So the oranges are clean, sorted, and ready to be juiced. But how exactly do we get every last drop of flavor out of each piece of fruit without losing nutrients or introducing bitterness from the peel? The next steps are surprisingly high stakes, and more high-tech than you might imagine. Let's peel back the layers. Extraction, filtration, and pulp control, the heart of the process. The extraction begins. Squeezing without bitterness. Now that the oranges are clean, graded, and sorted by sweetness, they move into the extraction area, arguably the most critical stage in orange juice production. This is where the juice is literally squeezed out of millions of fruits every hour. But here's the twist. Industrial juicing isn't as simple as cutting an orange in half and squeezing it.
Why?
Because inside the peel of every orange is a bitter compound called limonene, found in the oil glands of the peel and the albedo, the white inner layer. If this bitterness gets into the juice, it can ruin entire batches. To prevent that, factories use specially designed reamer machines like the FMC inline extractor, a beast of a machine that can process 600 oranges per minute. Here's how it works. The orange is held between two metal cups. A sharp tube pierces the peel and separates the juice vesicles. Meanwhile, a second mechanism carefully extracts the juice without breaking the peel too much, a delicate balance that preserves flavor while avoiding contamination. The peel and seeds are ejected out one side, while the juice flows out the other, filtered, but not yet ready for bottling. First filtration: juice, pulp, and oil separation. Freshly extracted juice isn't as smooth and perfect as what you see in a carton. Right after extraction, the liquid is a chaotic mix of juice, pulp, peel oil, and microscopic fruit solids. This is where the first filtration stage begins. Centrifugal separators spin the juice at high speed, forcing the heavier particles, like pulp and peel fragments, to separate from the lighter juice. The juice is then pushed through fine mesh screens and cyclone filters, which help refine it further. At this point, factories decide how much pulp they want in the final product. Some brands go no pulp, while others opt for some or high pulp. This isn't random, it's carefully calculated to match market preferences. Interestingly, pulp is often removed first, then reintroduced later in controlled amounts to meet each product specification. Yup, your high pulp juice was once just as smooth as the rest. Pasteurization: killing germs without killing flavor. Next comes a crucial step: making sure the juice is safe to drink. Fresh juice, even if it smells and looks perfect, is a playground for microbes, yeast, mold, and bacteria that can spoil it in days. To eliminate these threats, the juice is sent through flash pasteurization. It's heated quickly to 85 to 95 degrees Celsius, 185 to 203 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 15 to 30 seconds. Then it's rapidly cooled to just above freezing. This kills harmful microorganisms while preserving most of the flavor, aroma, and nutrients. Unlike long, slow heating, flash pasteurization is fast and effective, and it's a major reason why commercial orange juice stays safe for weeks or even months. Some ultra-premium brands skip pasteurization and opt for high-pressure processing, HPP, instead, which kills pathogens using thousands of pounds of pressure. This method retains even more nutrients, but it's far more expensive and only used for niche markets. Deaeration: the battle against oxygen. Here's a fun fact: oxygen is orange juice's worst enemy. Once the juice is pasteurized, it goes through a process called deaeration, which removes dissolved oxygen. Oxygen exposure causes loss of vitamin C, flavor degradation, color darkening over time. Factories use vacuum tanks to pull out as much air as possible, preserving that bright orange hue and zesty flavor. This step is especially important for not-from-concentrate juices, which have no added preservatives or flavor enhancers. Blending: making every glass taste the same. You might think every carton of orange juice comes from one batch of oranges, but in reality, your juice might be made from dozens of different harvests, groves, and even countries. Here's where blending comes in. Large juice manufacturers use advanced software and flavor experts, yes, flavorists, to blend different juice batches into a consistent flavor profile. Too sour? Add sweeter batches. Too pulpy? Dial it back with a smoother batch. Not aromatic enough? Add a dash of recovered orange oil. This is why your favorite brand of juice tastes exactly the same week after week, season after season. Behind the scenes, it's a carefully calibrated blend that can include oranges harvested up to a year apart, thanks to deep freezing and storage tanks. The juice is ready. It's flavorful, safe, and precisely blended. But now comes the challenge of moving millions of liters into bottles, cartons, and refrigerated trucks, without a single drop going to waste. Bottling, packaging, and cold chain distribution. The bottling phase: millions of liters, zero margin for error. Now that the juice has been filtered, blended, and pasteurized, it's time for one of the most mesmerizing parts of the process: bottling. Inside modern orange juice factories, this step is fully automated, ultra-fast, and carefully regulated. We're talking 100,000 plus bottles per hour on a single line, all moving in perfect sync. But bottling orange juice isn't just about pouring liquid into containers. It's a complex balance of speed, sanitation, and preservation. Here's how it unfolds. The juice is piped through sealed, stainless steel lines into filling machines. These lines are kept at just above freezing temperature to prevent microbial growth and preserve freshness. The bottles or cartons, depending on the product, are pre-sterilized using UV light, steam, or peroxide rinses, then dried. A multi-head rotary filler dispenses precise volumes of juice into each container. These machines can fill hundreds of units per minute with mind-blowing accuracy, down to the milliliter. Most packaging happens in cold rooms, with temperatures hovering around 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, 36 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit, to maintain product quality during the process. Once filled, bottles are immediately sealed, labeled, and date-stamped. No human hands ever touch the juice once it enters the system. Everything is robotic and tightly controlled. Packaging and quality assurance. Every drop counts. With the juice now sealed, the containers are organized into cases and stacked on pallets. But they're not ready to ship just yet. This stage is where quality assurance teams step in. They perform random sampling of bottles for taste, consistency, acidity, and Brix level. Microbial testing to ensure sterility and pasteurization were effective. Packaging integrity tests, like drop tests and seal checks. Factories also use X-ray machines and laser scanners to inspect the internal content and detect possible foreign matter. If even a single bottle fails inspection, entire batches can be recalled for further testing. Nothing is left to chance. Major juice producers can face lawsuits or recalls worth millions if one contaminated bottle hits store shelves. So quality assurance isn't just protocol, it's business survival. Cold storage, juice on ice. With bottling complete, the freshly packaged juice is now ready for temporary storage, but not just any storage. We're talking about gigantic refrigerated warehouses, some as large as football fields. These facilities maintain strict temperature control, usually between 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, 32 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit, to ensure the juice stays fresh and bacteria-free before distribution. Even short exposure to warmer temperatures can shorten shelf life dramatically, so these cold zones are monitored 24/7. Some factories even store not-from-concentrate juice in huge refrigerated stainless steel tanks, capable of holding millions of liters for future blending or bottling. This allows factories to operate year-round, even when oranges aren't in season. And for concentrated juice, the cold chain gets even more intense. The concentrate is often frozen and stored at -18 degrees Celsius 0 degrees Fahrenheit, then shipped worldwide to be reconstituted near the point of sale. Global distribution, the cold chain miracle. Let's zoom out. Orange juice is produced in just a few countries, but consumed in nearly every corner of the globe. So how do we move millions of liters across continents while keeping it perfectly chilled? Enter the cold chain logistics system, a tightly regulated supply network that ensures the juice stays refrigerated from factory to store shelf. Here's how it works. Refrigerated trucks, reefers. These 18-wheelers have built-in refrigeration units and are used to transport juice from the bottling plant to distribution centers. Cold storage warehouses. Juice is kept in regional hubs, giant fridges where it's sorted by destination. Refrigerated containers, for export for international shipping. Containers are fitted with cooling systems and often include GPS and temperature sensors to ensure a consistent climate throughout the journey. Last mile delivery. Even the trucks that deliver to local grocery stores have to be refrigerated. One hiccup in the chain can cost thousands in spoiled product. The entire operation is built around precision timing and constant temperature monitoring. Any deviation, alarms go off, and shipments may be destroyed or rerouted. Fun fact, a bottle of orange juice in a Canadian grocery store might have started its life as an orange on a Brazilian tree, traveled thousands of miles, and passed through 3 to 4 different refrigeration systems, all without ever warming up. What about frozen concentrate? While not as popular as it used to be, frozen orange juice concentrate is still a major player, especially for bulk food services, schools, and in developing markets. Here's how it differs. After extraction and filtration, the juice is evaporated to remove about 80% of its water content. This thick syrup is flash frozen and stored in drums or bricks. When needed, it's rehydrated by adding water, often at or near the point of sale. Though some argue it lacks the full flavor of not-from-concentrate juice, the frozen concentrate is far easier to ship and store, making it a cost-effective option for many global markets. The flavor pack controversy. Engineering freshness. Let's talk about flavor packs, perhaps the most controversial element in the orange juice industry. Because pasteurization and long-term storage strip away much of orange juice's natural scent and taste, manufacturers use specially designed flavor formulas to restore that fresh squeezed experience. Here's how it works. When oranges are first juiced, factories capture the aromatic compounds that naturally evaporate. These volatile oils and essences are then processed, often by third-party fragrance companies that also serve the perfume and cosmetics industries. The resulting flavor packs are added back into the juice months later, right before bottling. Here's the kicker. Even though flavor packs are derived from oranges, they're not listed on the ingredient label, because technically, they're still considered part of the orange. This loophole allows brands to maintain that 100% orange juice claim, even if the taste is carefully engineered. Orange juice, despite its wholesome image, is a multi-billion-dollar global industry that behaves more like oil or coffee than fresh produce. Brazil is the largest orange juice exporter in the world, accounting for nearly 60% of global supply. Most orange juice sold in the US is a blend of domestic and Brazilian oranges, depending on harvest yields and prices. Orange juice futures are traded on commodity markets, with prices fluctuating based on weather, disease outbreaks, like citrus greening, labor costs, and even global shipping trends. For example, a drought in Sao Paulo or a hurricane in Florida can spike global prices. And in some years, companies will freeze massive quantities of juice when prices are low, then release them into the market when they spike, much like oil reserves. Turning waste into gold. Remember those peels and rinds? Factories don't just toss them. They're loaded with essential oils and aromatic compounds that have commercial value. Before the peels are discarded or turned into animal feed, they pass through steam distillation units that extract high-grade orange oil. This oil is used in food flavoring, cosmetics, aromatherapy, cleaning products. This is a prime example of zero-waste production. Every part of the orange has a role, and nothing valuable is wasted. And here's the kicker. Sometimes, a tiny amount of this oil is added back to the juice to enhance aroma and flavor. Ever wondered why fresh orange juice smells so much better than the actual fruit? That's science and engineering at work. So what's in your glass? You started your morning with a simple glass of orange juice. But now you know, it's anything but simple. Behind that bright, tangy liquid lies a global machine. Orchards that stretch across continents, factories that run 24/7, advanced robotics, AI sorting systems, and cold chains that span thousands of miles. Every drop you drink has passed through a labyrinth of processing steps, from fruit to flavor packs to filtration and back. It's engineered. It's optimized. It's consistent. But is it still fresh? That's for you to decide. So the next time you open that fridge and reach for a carton, take a second to think about everything that went into making that sip. You're not just drinking juice. You're tasting the product of nature, technology, and a whole lot of clever engineering. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to FactoryX, and turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives into the world of modern manufacturing and hidden factory processes. Got a food or product you want us to explore next? Drop it in the comments below. We're always watching. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.